Chapter 13. Means 10,000 kalpa and 1,000 lives. The characters, meaning 10,000 thousand or 1,000,000, are often used to express that there is a multitude or a great number of something. Once you have entered darkness, essence is disturbed and life is destabilized. In a single day you are born 1,000 times and die 10,000 times. Liu Yiming, 18c. Taoist Master. Born 1,000 times and die 10,000 times means one is born and one dies many times in a single day. A lifetime is not what's between the moments of birth and death. A lifetime is one moment, between two little breaths. Zen saying, one cycle of respiration takes about 3 seconds. This is a definite and complete period of time for a man. If he observes closely, he will find that every breath brings a new thought to his mind, or a repetition of an old thought. Rodney Collin, 20th C. Fourth Way Teacher. Each thought is seen as a life. Because we identify with our thoughts and experience them as I, we are born and die many times during one day. When the original spirit awakens, our identity is transformed and we become the higher self. Then the many thoughts are seen as something outside oneself, one's identity is no longer in them and one is out of time. This is presented as getting rid of 10,000 kalpa and 1,000 lives. The 10,000 spirits, 10,000 attachments, 10,000 things, 10,000 waters, and the 10,000 kalpas, all refer to the 10,000 thoughts that are stimulated by the 10,000 external things. This represents the plurality of the temporal, as opposed to the unity of the primordial. As acquired conditioning runs affairs, mundanity, yin, increases and the celestial retreats, day after day, year after year. Inwardly, the 10,000 thoughts cause trouble, outwardly the 10,000 things coerce. Liu Yiming, 18c. Taoist Master, The Inner Teachings of Taoism. The practice of turning around the light must occur in one's normal everyday circumstance. An ancient said, when people are in the midst of the disturbance, this is a good time to apply effort to keep independent. Stay comprehensively alert in the immediate present, and suddenly an awakening will open up an experience in the midst of it all that is millions of times better than that of quiet sitting. Huang Yuan Qi, Annals of the Hall of Blissful Development. If you want to attain the way by shutting the door and sitting quietly with a blank mind, that is like shutting the doors and shutters and hoping to see the sun. What way does that accomplish? It must be the way of dark rooms, I guess. Only when you mix with the ordinary people, integrating illumination, living in the cities and towns, are you activating great use of great potential. This is the real function of practicing and holding the great way. Liu Yiming, 1734-1821, Taoist Master, Awakening the Tao. In all ages, most people take the symbols that esoteric traditions use, literally. They think that, for instance, the pill of immortality is really a pill that one swallows and makes the physical body immortal. In the same way, people who have studied Taoism may think that the yellow middle is physical place in the human body. However, they are symbols and denote something psychological or spiritual. Sages use the word middle to point out the opening of the mysterious pass. The opening of the mysterious pass is the most abstruse and most essential mechanism. It is not in the forehead, or the navel, or in the bladder, or in the genitals, or between the kidneys and navel, or between the kidneys and genitals. From head to heels, any spot of the body you may focus on is not it. Yet it is not to be sought externally, apart from the body. Li Dao Chun, 13th C. Taoist Master, The Book of Balance and Harmony. The term yellow middle, or yellow castle, refers to the heart as the central organ and ruler over thoughts and emotions. The heart is not a piece of flesh, the place where one is aware, is the heart. Wang Yongming, 16th C. Chinese philosopher. Avoid extremes, keep yourself in the middle, for only in the middle exists the honorable condition. Quetzalcoatl, Mesoamerican deity. It is also called the Yellow Court, the Middle Palace, the Yellow Woman or Wife. What is the Yellow Woman? Yellow is the color associated with the sinner, woman refers to mother. Myriad beings are born from Earth, so Earth is the mother of myriad beings, and thus is called the Yellow Woman. It refers to the true will, which stands in the center of mind and body, heaven and earth, and joins them in harmonious union. Li Dao Chun, the Book of Balance and Harmony. The yellow woman stands for the true will to awaken the original spirit. The symbol of the Earth Mother or Mother Goddess can be found in all esoteric traditions. The yellow woman harmonizes. When true intent does not scatter, yin and yang naturally harmonize. You should know that the true intent is the yellow woman, Lu Yiming, the inner teachings of Taoism. Here universe has an inner meaning. The whole universe in all 10 quarters is what our radiantly luminous true self is. Dogen, 13 THC. Japanese Zen monk, reality is so subtle that the ancient immortals called a tiny pearl. Yet though they called it a tiny pearl, in reality it has no such shape. They call it thus because there is a point of conscious energy hidden in the center, and because that point of awareness contains the whole cosmos, space, and the universe. Lu Yiming. The nature of God is a circle whose center is everywhere and whose circumference is nowhere. Saint Augustine, 5th c. Christian saint universe refers to the presence of the original spirit and also to the path to awaken it. Confucians call it the Absolute. Western esoteric traditions call it God. The Absolute is movement and stillness without beginning, yin and yang without beginning. Buddhists call this complete awareness, Taoists call it the gold pill, Confucians call it the Absolute. The Book of Balance and Harmony, by Li Dao Chun 13th c. Taoist Master. In section 9 of chapter 3 it was said, the light of heaven and earth fills the universe. The light of one individual also naturally extends through the heavens and covers the earth. The original spirit in a man is a drop of the endless ocean of the Absolute or Oversoul. Individual souls are like drops in the ocean. Just as each drop in the ocean is fundamentally identical with the ocean, the soul, which is individualized due to illusion, is still the Oversoul and does not really become separate from the Oversoul. Meher Baba. Awake! Awake! O sleeper of the land of shadows, wake! I am in you and you in me, mutual in love divine. I am not a god afar off, I am a brother and friend. Within your bosoms I reside, and you reside in me. William Blake, 18th c. English poet and painter. The inner meaning of the creation myths of all esoteric traditions refers to the process of creating an inner universe, the state when the original spirit is present. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was in chaos, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Then God said, let there be light, and there was light. The Bible, Genesis 1:1-3. God refers to the original spirit, which wants to come into being. Light refers to the light of the golden flower. The Creator Spirit is sending a ray of light, a dove, symbolizing the breath of life, into the darkness. Darkness is represented as the waters of the abyss, where the lower self is visible. Behold! Your Lord is Allah who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, then mounted He the throne. The Quran? Heaven refers to the state of the presence of the original spirit, while creating earth signifies activating the yellow middle or yellow woman. 6 days refers to the process of creating the presence of the original spirit, while mounting the throne signifies resting in presence. You will find the day spoken of as the breathing. Bernard of Clairvaux, 12th c. French abbot. Ancient immortals used the term golden pill, elixir, as a metaphor of the essence of true consciousness, which is fundamentally complete and illumined. Growing from one yin to gradually reach the pure wholeness of 6 yangs, going from vague to clear, the gold elixir develops naturally. Lu Yiming, 18th c. Taoist Master. The holy man who understands the mysteries of creation inherent in end and beginning, in death and life, becomes superior to the limitations of the transitory. For him, the meaning of time is that in it, the stages of growth can unfold in a clear sequence. He is mindful at every moment and uses the 6 stages of growth as if they were 6 dragons, the image attributed to the individual lines, on which he mounts to heaven. This is the sublimity and success of the creative as it shows itself in man. Commentary on Hexagram Number 1, The Creative, the I Ching p. 371, Wilhelm/Baines edition. This quote is from a conversation between Bodhidharma, the first patriarch of Chinese Zen, and his disciple Haik, who later became the second patriarch. Haik said to Bodhidharma, "My mind is anxious. Please pacify it." Bodhidharma replied, "Bring me your mind, and I will pacify it." Haik said, "Having looked for my mind, I realize it cannot be grasped." "There," Bodhidharma replied, "I have pacified your mind." According to Zen tradition, at this moment Haik attained enlightenment, which means that he experienced a prolonged state of the presence of the original spirit. Once one has experienced a state like this, one understands that all thoughts and emotions are not real. One normally experiences them as real and they make up one's identity, one's lower self. When the original spirit is present, one experiences the lower self as an interesting stranger and one let these thoughts and emotions pass by without getting entangled in them. After the state of presence subsides, one again experiences these thoughts and emotions as I. However, as soon as one observes this, one can then immediately try to return to presence, without investigating them. Stopping and observing refers to stopping illusion or imagination, and seeing truth. Seeing truth means seeing objectively whatever is in the present moment, without any comments from one's acquired conditioning. Imagination refers to the unbroken stream of thoughts that one's wandering mind produces, the windmills of our mind, which prevents one from seeing truth. Mental excretion is represented by imagination, that is, a continuous production of waste images, the byproduct of past perceptions, which flow through and out of the brain in a meaningless and unbroken stream. In fact, dreaming goes on night and day, without a break. Rodney Collin, 20 THC. Fourth Way Spiritual Teacher, The Theory of Celestial Harmony. Stopping and observing refers to stopping illusion or imagination, and seeing truth. Seeing truth means seeing objectively whatever is in the present moment, without any comments from one's acquired conditioning. Imagination refers to the unbroken stream of thoughts that one's wandering mind produces, the windmills of our mind, which prevents one from seeing truth. Mental excretion is represented by imagination, that is, a continuous production of waste images, the byproduct of past perceptions, which flow through and out of the brain in a meaningless and unbroken stream. In fact, dreaming goes on night and day, without a break. Rodney Collin, 20 THC. Fourth Way Spiritual Teacher, The Theory of Celestial Harmony. After one starts the effort of turning around the light, one needs to let go of all attachments, including hopes or expectations of experiencing the miraculous. One just tries to be and accept what the moment offers. Hopes and expectations are thoughts and emotions that pollute the heart and interrupt the effort of turning around the light. Oblivion refers to being completely absorbed in one's daily activities or in the thoughts going round in one's mind, without any self-awareness. The mind of Tao is absent. This is also referred to as sleep. Man lives his life in sleep, and in sleep he dies. Gurdjieff, 20th C. Fourth Way Spiritual Teacher. This is a strange repose, to be asleep with eyes wide open, standing, speaking, moving, and yet so fast asleep. Shakespeare, The Tempest. Distraction relates to being distracted while making the effort of turning around the light. Whenever the fickle and restless mind wanders away, withdraw it from those distractions and return it to the self. Bhagavad Gita. Distractions arise from habitual thought patterns when practice is intermittent. Patanjali, one's breathing and one's thoughts, and also one's emotions, are intimately connected. One cycle of respiration takes about 3 seconds. This is a definite and complete period of time for a man. If he observes closely, he will find that every breath brings a new thought to his mind, or a repetition of an old thought. Rodney Collin, 20th C. Fourth Way Spiritual Teacher. Outer breathing refers to the breath that keeps the body alive. Inner breathing refers to that which gives life to the lower self or the higher self, the original spirit. What we experience as I, as our identity, is the result of the thoughts and emotions we have. Even our memories are thoughts and emotions that occur in the present moment. All that we are is the result of our thoughts. Buddha. When an impulse in the heart called intent, see chapter 2 number 7, creates a movement of energy resulting in an emotion or energy motion, called qi, in Chinese, and a corresponding thought. This causes a feeling of I. This feeling of I is the lower self. When there is a true intent in the heart to turn around the light, and as a result of this true intent, the higher self awakens, the inner breath now gives life to the higher self. Esoteric traditions call this breath the breath of life. The breath of life is not a physical breath, but an energy motion that gives life to the higher self or original spirit. Ra is the divine God, who created himself, who made the heavens and the earth, and the breath of life. Egyptian legends of Ra and Isis. The breath of life is the consciousness of life. Upanishads, Hindu text. There are 6 cosmic breaths, they are matched by the 6 breaths in man. Book of Salvation of the World by the Manifestation of Tao from the Supreme Concourse, Tai Sheng Hua Dao De Shi Shanjing, The World Upside Down by Isabelle Robinet. The light of the ear refers to conscious awareness. I will speak to those who know to hear not with the ears of the body but with the ears of the mind. For many have sought after the truth and have not been able to find it. The Testimony of Truth, Nag Hammadi Scriptures. The name of Bodhisattva Guanyin means observing sound and refers to the same idea. Yin Hui, what is fasting of the heart? Confucius, the goal of fasting is inner unity. This means hearing, but not with the ear, hearing, but not with the understanding, hearing with the spirit, with your whole being. The hearing of the spirit is not limited to any one faculty, to the ear, or to the mind. Chuang-Tzu. The light that lives in the sun, lighting all the world. The light of the moon, the light that is in fire, know that light to be mine. Bhagavad Gita. The sun represents complete self-awareness, the golden flower. The moon represents the firing process which gradually brings this self-awareness into being. The firing process spoken of in the alchemical classics and writings of the masters is a metaphor for the order of practical spiritual work. Liu Yiming, 18th C., Taoist master. What this crescent moon symbolizes in humans is a point of yang light shining through the middle of extreme quiet. The point of yang light is nothing but the light of the mind of Tao. Liu Yiming, Commentary on Understanding Reality, by Zhang Baduan. At this time you should quickly set about increasing the fire, gathering yang and putting it into the furnace of evolution, gradually gathering, gradually refining, from vagueness to clarity, from one yang to complete purity of 6 yangs. This is also like the mid-autumn moon, exceptionally bright, shining through the universe. Liu Yiming, Commentary on Understanding Reality, by Zhang Baduan. The moon waxing to fullness is a secret passed on by word of mouth. The medicinal substances are hard to know, and the firing process is not easy to understand. Students should hasten to find a genuine teacher. Liu Yiming, Commentary on Understanding Reality, by Zhang Baduan. Kunjming, means clarity and is normally used to describe an intelligent, wise or clever person. Here it refers to spiritual clarity. The left part of the left character, is the character for ear, and it means being sensitive to hearing. The right character, is made up of the characters for sun, and moon, which both give light, so this character relates to the eye, and means being sensitive to seeing. The heart has a wonderful charm. The hidden and wonderful spell gives eternal life. Journey to the West. True spells, revealing secrets and all-powerful, are the only sure way of protecting one's life. When you are successful you can become a Buddha or an immortal. Journey to the West. But this celestial mechanism of practicing reversal has a secret which is communicated verbally and instructs the heart. One must seek the guidance of the true teacher, for it cannot be known through arbitrary guesswork. Inner Teachings of Taoism, by Liu Yiming, 18th C. Taoist Master. The pyramid and cone are symbols for the heart or mind that has died to the passions and reached the point of being unified. It can then enter into emptiness. Spiritual thieves do not readily pounce on the man who has united his heart with prayer. Philokalia, John of the Ladder. Conscious awareness is the very spirit of ritual prayer. Al-Ghazali. Although sitting meditation is mentioned several times in this chapter, it is important not to limit practicing turning around the light to only periods of sitting. People meditating on the fundamental, carry out their ordinary tasks and activities in the midst of meditation, and carry out meditation in the midst of ordinary tasks and activities. There is no disparity between meditation and activity. It is for those as yet incapable of this, those weak in focusing their intent on the way, that special meditation periods were set up. Musoso Seki, 14th c. Japanese poet and garden designer. If you want to attain the way by shutting the door and sitting quietly with a blank mind, that is like shutting the doors and shutters and hoping to see the sun. What way does that accomplish? It must be the way of dark rooms, I guess. Only when you mix with the ordinary people, integrating illumination, living in the cities and towns, are you activating great use of great potential. This is the real function of practicing and holding the great way. Liu Yiming, 1734 to 1821, Taoist master, awakening the Tao. If one is serious about awakening the original spirit, one cannot afford to be oblivious the rest of the 15 to 16 hours of the day. The idea of sitting is often used as a symbol, referring to the original spirit not moving, not being pulled away by any thought. Sitting means that the mind is unmoved. The Secret of the Golden Flower, Chapter 13. Sitting does not mean physically sitting still with the eyes closed. This latter is artificial sitting. True sitting requires that the mind be unstirring as a mountain all the time, whatever you are doing, in all action and repose. Wang Che, 12th c. Taoist master. In contrast, oblivion and distraction refer to one's mind moving or jumping around from one thought to the other, and is also called the monkey mind. Since ancient time immortal real people have likened the mind to a monkey, because they truly saw that when the mind is wild and foolish this a tremendous obstacle on the way. If learners can control their mind and return it to rectitude, then more than half of the Tao can be comprehended. Liu Yiming, 1734 to 1821, Taoist master. Three monkeys embodying the proverb see no evil, hear no evil and speak no evil. Toshogu Shrine, Nikko, Japan. Evil refers to any thought that makes the mind move and draws one's attention away from the present moment into oblivion and distraction. Many esoteric traditions refer to oblivion as sleep. Man lives his life in sleep, and in sleep he dies. Gurdjieff, 20th c. Fourth way spiritual teacher. The vanishing of remembrance is the essence of sleep. Ibn Arabi, 13th c. Andalusian Sufi mystic and philosopher. The phenomena of life are like dreams, illusions, bubbles, or shadows, like drops of dew, or flashes of lightning, and thus they ought to be contemplated. The Prajnaparamita Diamond Sutra, Buddhist text. Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead. The Bible, Ephesians 5:14. Many esoteric traditions use the metaphor of illness. When actually receiving the teachings, you should regard yourself as a patient, Dharma as the medicine, and the spiritual master as the physician. Listening to and firmly practicing the Dharma should be regarded as recovering from the sickness. Gampopa, 12th c. Founder of the Kagyu tradition of Tibetan Buddhism. The Buddha is like a clever physician because he is able to cure the sickness consisting in defilement. Wonhyo 7th c. Korean Buddhist teacher. I am sick. The world is my disease. God is the cure. Lala, 14th c. Indian mystic. Your lower self is sick, so you must make it stick to a wholesome diet, until it is restored to good health by its Lord. Al-Jilani, 12th c. Persian Sufi. Isis came with her words of magic, and the place of her mouth was filled with the breath of life. Egyptian texts, Legend of Ra and Isis. The ordinary breath makes the body alive, the true breath makes the original spirit alive. Just settle the breathing of the spirit and let it be natural, understanding reality. Zhang Bodong, 11th c. Taoist master. Although this true breath is linked with postnatal, ordinary, breathing, the latter coming in and out through the mouth and nostrils, cannot reach the original cavity of spirit to return to the source. The immortal breath that comes from inner fourfold breathing and not through the nose and mouth, can then return to the source. In your quest for immortal breath, you should regulate postnatal, ordinary, breathing in order to find its source. This immortal breath is hidden in the original cavity of the spirit. Jiao Pai Chen, 20th C. Taoist Master. Most esoteric traditions call the true breath the breath of life. The breath of life is the consciousness of life. Upanishads, Hindu text. God and Christ have the same face. God represents the original spirit and Christ represents the part in a man that tries to awaken the original spirit. The Louvre, 1450. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. The Bible, Genesis 2:7. The dove in the image above represents the Holy Spirit. The word spirit in English versions of the Bible is a translation of the Hebrew word ruach, which can also be translated as wind or breath. The dove represents the holy or true breath. The creation of man in the myths and sacred writings of all esoteric traditions refer to the creation or awakening of the original spirit. Attend with the ear of your heart. Saint Benedict. A Buddha from Thailand with a heart-shaped ear. The word heart has ear in it. Confucius. The goal of fasting is inner unity. This means hearing, but not with the ear, hearing, but not with the understanding, hearing with the spirit, with your whole being. The hearing of the spirit is not limited to any one faculty, to the ear, or to the mind. Chuang-Tzu. The nature of sound is based in movement and stillness. Hearing, however, does not depend on the existence of sound. Silence may signify there is nothing to be heard. But this does not mean that hearing has ceased. In the silence, the nature of hearing is not extinguished. Nor, in the presence of sound, does hearing arise. Entirely beyond production and extinction. It is, then, truly everlasting. Shurangama Sutra. Since light is a symbol for consciousness, the sun and moon are used as symbols and are represented by the eyes. The sun is the source of physical light while the moon reflects the sunlight. The sun symbolizes the original spirit while the moon represents the part in man that brings back the presence of the original spirit, the mind of Tao. When we begin to press forward firmly established, at first there appears in our mind a lamp which the hand of our mind holds aloft to guide our mental steps. Thereafter comes a full moon, circling in the sky of the heart, and, at last, the sun. Philokalia, Hezekiah's of Jerusalem. A lamp symbolizes the first step or effort to turn around the light. A full moon refers to a prolonged effort that is also symbolized by a circle. After that comes the sun, a prolonged state of the presence of the original spirit. The two eyes are used as symbols for the sun and the moon in all esoteric traditions. O Krishna, who is the younger brother of Indra? Who is sun and moon as two eyes? Stotra Ratnavali, Hindu text. The character for, Tao, way, is pregnant with hidden meaning. First two dots are written. The left one symbolizes light, the right one symbolizes darkness, as in the symbol of the Absolute wherein yin and yang embrace each other. These two dots represent the sun and the moon in the sky, water and fire on earth, and the two eyes in human beings, which reverse light and gaze inwardly in the course of refinement exercises. Grand Master Zhang Hadao, 16th generation transmitter of the Dragon Gate sect, opening the Dragon Gate, the making of Taoist wizard. The Egyptians often referred to the sun and the moon as the eyes of particular gods. The sun and the moon are thine eyes. When thou dost sleep it is dark, and when thou dost open thine eyes it is bright again. Hymn addressed to Patatanan. In Zen, the withered tree is a common metaphor for someone who has reached a deeper level of meditation. Attachments and passions, symbolized by the fallen leaves, have all but disappeared. On a withered tree, a flower blooms. Zen saying. The term mechanism refers to the firing times or the firing process in Taoist alchemy. The celestial mechanism is transmitted once in 10,000 eons. The immortals and real people of antiquity were unwilling to make it explicit, but our author is so kind and compassionate that in 16 poems he reveals what the ancients did not reveal. Liu Yiming, Commentary on Understanding Reality by Zhang Baoduan. But this celestial mechanism of practicing reversal has a secret which is communicated verbally and instructs the heart. One must seek the guidance of the true teacher, for it cannot be known through arbitrary guesswork. Liu Yiming, 18c. Taoist Master, the Inner Teachings of Taoism. The subtle function of spiritual work is truly hard to measure. I now give an explanation for you. In telling you about it, I divulge the celestial mechanism. Setting to work when one yang comes back. First have the 6 yangs pump the furnace bellows. Then the 6 yins work the tongs and hammer. When the work of firing is complete, it produces the sword. Without this sword, the Tao cannot be achieved. Li Dao Chun, the Book of Balance and Harmony. The term aperture refers to the mysterious pass, which in turn refers to the heart, which is only interested in the presence of the original spirit. The opening of the mysterious female is the opening of the mysterious pass. This opening has a double door, opening and closing. The central hall is one room, which extends in all directions. In it dwells a true human. Lu Yiming, 18c. Taoist Master, the Inner Teachings of Taoism. The I Ching says, return means seeing the heart of heaven and earth. The I Ching hexagram return consists of 1 yang, arising under 5 yins dash. Yin is quietude, yang is movement. When quietude reaches its consummation, it gives rise to movement. It is this point of movement that is the mysterious pass. Li Dao Chun, 13c. Taoist Master, the Book of Balance and Harmony. Your sanctuary is a heart of secret places. It opens the double doors of heaven, the double doors of the way that you enter to be among the gods, that you may live as your soul. Egyptian Pyramid Texts. What does it really mean to be a recluse? It means that your mind, enclosed in the heart, stands before God in reverence and feels no desire to leave the heart or to occupy itself with anything else. The Philokalia, Theophan the Recluse. This passage relates to a passage from Huineng, the 6th patriarch of Zen Buddhism. Learned audience, when you hear me talk about the emptiness, do not at once fall into the idea of vacuity. It is of the utmost importance that we should not fall into this idea, because when a man sits quietly and keeps his mind blank, he will abide in a state of emptiness, of indifference. Huineng, 6th patriarch of Zen Buddhism, 7th c. It is important to understand the difference between the emptiness of indifference and the emptiness of the presence of the original spirit. The concept of presence manifests as emptiness. Milarepa, 11th c. Tibetan Yogi, the emptiness of the presence of the original spirit is pure awareness. The original spirit is aware of itself and of the lower self. Thoughts and emotions may still circulate in the lower self, but the original spirit is empty, it is only awareness. The emptiness of indifference refers to the lower self being without thoughts and emotions, however the original spirit is not present. All esoteric traditions use the number 10,000 to imply the fact that a human being doesn't have unity. The universe lies in your hands, the 10,000 transformations are born from yourself. Huangdi Yin Fujing, Yellow Emperor's Scripture of Hidden Agreement, Taoist text. There exist 10,000 worlds, and all these are contained in man, without his being conscious of it. Darkawi, 17th c. Moroccan Sufi. As acquired conditioning runs affairs, mundanity, yin, increases and the celestial, yang, retreats, day after day, year after year. Inwardly, the 10,000 thoughts cause trouble, outwardly the 1,000 things coerce. Lu Yiming, 18th c. Taoist Master, the Inner Teachings of Taoism. Karma refers to the concept of actions or deeds, which cause the entire cycle of samsara, the cycle of death and rebirth, also called reincarnation. This has an inner meaning referring to the birth and death of a man's thoughts, symbolically numbered 10,000. Strictly speaking, the duration of the life of a living being is exceeding brief, lasting only while a thought lasts. Just as a chariot wheel in rolling, rolls only at one point of the tire and in resting only rests at one point, exactly in the same way, the life of a living being lasts only for the period of one thought. Buddhaghosa, Vishuddhamagga 8, Buddhist text. Samsara is no more than one's own thoughts. The Upanishads, Hindu text. You are what your deep driving desire is. As your desire is, so is your will. As your will is, so is your deed. As your deed is, so is your destiny. The Upanishads. When one has negative thoughts, one is reborn in the state of hell. When one has strong desires, one is reborn in the state of the hungry ghosts. The gods represents reminders to be present. They are the way out of samsara. Sweep the 10,000 karmas away and come to nirvana, waste no time and destroy the 1,000 demons. You surely will be free from obstructions, and rise to the Daluo heaven when your deeds are done. Journey to the West, one of the 4 great Chinese classical novels, The World of Yin refers to the illusory world created by the human mind. It can also be called the world of the lower self and is characterized by the state of imagination, uncontrolled mind activity, illusionary suffering, undue preoccupation with trifling matters and mechanical habits. This illusory world obstructs the mind of Tao. The firmness of the Tao belongs to Yang, this is the great. The flexibility of the human mind belongs to Yin, this is the small. If the human mind lacks the mind of Tao, it can defeat the Tao by using consciousness to produce illusion. If you govern it by the mind of Tao, the conscious light is clear and can thereby help the Tao. Liu Yiming, 18c. Taoist Master, Commentary on Understanding Reality. The 5 kinds of Yin demons refer to thoughts or emotions that keep one tied to the Yin world. The body of pure Yang was happy in the sun, the Yin demons dared not use their might. Journey to the West. The body of pure Yang refers to the state of the presence of the original spirit, also called the Dharmakaya, the Dharma or truth body, in Buddhism. The Yin demons are also symbolized by the 5 elements in the conditioned state, and are also called rebels or thieves. In the conditioned state, the 5 elements are imbalanced and damage each other. This manifests in action as the 5 rebels of joy, anger, sadness, happiness and desire. Liu Yiming. Seeing and hearing, emotions, desires, and opinions are all internal thieves. But if the inner mind is awake and alert, sitting aloof in the middle of it all, then these plunderers change and become members of the household. Hong Jicheng, 16th c. Chinese philosopher, Cajun Tan. The 6 states or paths of existence is Buddhist concept that originates in Hinduism. It refers to the repeating cycle of birth, life, death and rebirth, reincarnation, in 6 possible realms and is called samsara in Sanskrit. The wheel of life below shows the 6 realms of samsara. According to this concept, after people die, they are reborn in one of 6 realms: hell beings, hungry ghosts, animals, human beings, Ashura or half-gods and gods. Samsara is no more than one's own thoughts. Upanishads, Hindu text. Once you have entered darkness, essence is disturbed and life is destabilized, in a single day you are born 1,000 times and die 10,000 times. Liu Yiming, 18th c. Taoist Master. These 6 realms are symbols for different thoughts or emotions or impulses in a man. For example, hell beings are one's negative emotions, hungry ghosts refers to one's desires or cravings, animals refers to impulses we have in common with animals, humans beings refers to thoughts and emotions of a higher level, Ashuras or half-gods refers to thoughts related to spiritual work on oneself but not evoking the effort to unveil the original spirit, and gods refers to thoughts that remind the original spirit to be present. A lifetime is not what's between the moments of birth and death. A lifetime is one moment, between 2 little breaths. Zen saying. Strictly speaking, the duration of the life of a living being is exceeding brief, lasting only while a thought lasts. Just as a chariot wheel in rolling, rolls only at one point of the tire and in resting only rests at one point, exactly in the same way, the life of a living being lasts only for the period of one thought. Buddhaghosa, Vishuddha-magga 8. As soon as one instant of thought is cut off, you will be reborn in another realm. Huineng, 6th Patriarch of Zen Buddhism, 8th c. Only when one has a thought to turn around the light, which is symbolized as being reborn as a god, does one have the possibility to escape this infinite cycle of rebirth. When the original spirit awakens, one's identity is no longer in these thoughts and emotions and one is out of time and immortal. If you practice for a single breath, then you are a realized immortal for a breath. The secret of the golden flower. A foolish worldly passing thought makes one an ordinary man, while an enlightened second thought makes one a Buddha. Huineng. Being intoxicated is a metaphor for the presence of the original spirit. Drink of the wine that prolongs the soul. Rumi, 13th c. Sufi mystic and poet. The sun is wine and the moon the cup. Pour the sun into the moon. Hafiz, 14th c. Persian Sufi poet. The sun represents the presence of the original spirit. The moon represents the firing process, a prolonged effort to bring back the original spirit. The word that comes of grace is like a cup which runneth over. Gregory of Sinai, Philokalia, Greek Orthodox Christian text. Every moment this cup, chalice, fills with vision. This is my wine. I drink the given moment. Bahauddin Walid, 12th c. Sufi scholar and poet. The chalice is said to symbolize the heart. Muhammad Darabi. The secret within the secret cannot be dispensed with from start to finish. This is the washing of the heart and the purification of the thoughts, which is bathing. The Secret of the Golden Flower, Chapter 8. What is the spiritual pill? The greatest secret in Taoism is bathing. The whole practice described in this book does not go beyond the work of making the heart empty. It is enough to understand this. The Secret of the Golden Flower, Chapter 8. In my heart are the holy waters in which I bathe. Guru Nanak, 1st Sikh Guru, 16th c. The number 10,000 refers to the 10,000 worldly manifestations. These also manifest inside a man as thoughts, emotions and instinctive impulses. These internal 10,000 manifestations obscure the original spirit, the true master. Zhu Qi said, "Who is it that blows the 10,000 disputing voices in a different way, so that each can be itself, all take what they want for themselves, but who does the sounding?" Chuangzi, Discussion on Making All Things Equal. Joy, anger, grief, delight, worry, regret, fickleness, inflexibility, modesty, willfulness, candor, insolence, music from empty holes, mushrooms springing up in dampness, day and night replacing each other before us, and no one knows where they sprout from. Let it be. Let it be. It is enough that, morning and evening we have them, and they are the means by which we live. Without them we would not exist, without us they would have nothing to take hold of. This comes close to the matter. But I do not know what makes them the way they are. It would seem as though they have some true master, and yet I find no trace of him. Chuangzi, Discussion on Making All Things Equal. Followers of the way, if you want to become a Buddha, don't go along with the 10,000 things. Lin Chi, 9th c. Buddhist Master. The waxing of the moon from the crescent to the full moon is a symbol for a prolonged effort to bring back the original spirit. This effort is called the firing process in Taoism. The inner development of the elixir and the timing of its firing are no different at all from the ebbing and the flowing of the phases of the moon. Yu Yan, 13th c. Taoist Master. The crescent moon refers to the moon of the third day of the lunar calendar month, appearing as a hook of light in the direction of Earth, southwest. That light curves upward, that is why it is called the crescent moon. What this crescent moon symbolizes in humans is a point of yang light shining through the middle of extreme quiet. The point of yang light is nothing but the light of the mind of Tao. Liu Yiming, 18th c. Taoist Master, Commentary on Understanding Reality by Zhang Baoduan. The point where one yang begins to move is when the yang light of real knowledge of the mind of Tao stirs but is not yet very active, only then is a glimpse of the root of heaven revealed. At this time you should quickly set about increasing the fire, gathering yang and putting it into the furnace of evolution, gradually gathering, gradually refining, from vagueness to clarity, from one yang to complete purity of 6 yangs. This is also like the mid-autumn moon, exceptionally bright, shining through the universe. Liu Yiming, Commentary on Understanding Reality by Zhang Baoduan. The moon waxing to fullness is a secret passed on by word of mouth. The medicinal substances are hard to know, and the firing process is not easy to understand. Students should hasten to find a genuine teacher. Liu Yiming, Commentary on Understanding Reality. The one breath of true energy refers to the breath of life. In Taoism it is also called the yang breath. On the third day thunder comes forth as an inkling, and the yang breath makes it start. Initial 9, Submerged Dragon, The Cycle of the Moon, Canton Chi, Triplex Unity 2nd C. Taoist text by Wei Boyong.